Morning, everybody. How is everybody? We're up here today, and I just thought today is, I've come up. It's wet, it's dank. The garden's kind of sitting, just dormant. You know what I mean? But it's just there's those little glimpses of what's going to come in like this season. And for anyone who's kind of starting a new garden, I think this is the ideal time just to come up to your garden. Hopefully you get a garden in the next few weeks, and you can just visualize what's going to happen with all this kind of the season ahead of you. So coming up today, like I say, it's dank, it's dark, it's cold, but there's the glimpses of what you're going to achieve in a garden, and some of the things that still get me excited. I thought I would kind of let anyone who's new to gardening, I thought I'd share my reasons for still gardening after so long. Do you know what I mean? And still to this day, and I'll show you at the end of the video why it means so much and why I still get excited about gardening. First one is, do you know what I mean? You're growing veg, and I live about 500 yards from my garden allotment, and it's literally, if I pick some vegetables, like say potatoes, if I pick potatoes, it's a 5-minute walk. They're in the pan and they're cooking. You cannot get that anywhere else. Do you know what I mean? Growing your own veg, the freshest you're actually going to put in your bodies is coming from your own garden. Do you know what I mean? Yes, you can get all the organic stuff from shops and all the, the lovely, all this kind of fancy packaging, cardboard packaging, brown paper bag packaging. Getting it from your garden, yes, it might have soil on it. Yes, it might be wonky looking. I don't care if I get a wonky veg, man. That just helps convinces that it's a lot fresher than from the supermarkets. But getting it home, getting it in the pans, getting it whatever, and the nutrition benefit of something that you've grown yourself, you actually know what you've put into the garden soil. Over the year, what I'm doing actually now, I'm feeding the soil, I'm putting leaves down, I'm putting soil conditioning down, I'm putting everything back into the garden to get it ready for this season. So I know what's in, so I know the veg that'll come out, it'll be to my best ability, the best I can, we can have in our household. And I tell you where it kind of comes, you get recognition, is when you give it away to folks, your friends, family, because we always grow far too much. Last year I had more broccoli calabrese than I knew what to do with. But when you give away and you get feedback from, oh Tony, that was gorgeous, that was lovely, it's nothing better in the world. Now I'm actually not a good example of this next this next point, but it does, for some people this is a great benefit, and it's cost saving. Like you say, God, I put because it's me, I don't drink, we don't really go out that much, you know what I mean? It's a lovely hobby to kind of spend your money on. But if you wanted like a cost saving, to bring food in at a cheaper price, it is way cheaper getting a pack of seeds, putting them in the ground and just picking the veg, you know what I mean? Cavarel Nero, this is kind of I'll just turn you around there, that's my Cavarel Nero there, and I just know that costs a little fortune in supermarkets, you know what I mean? But I've got an ample supply there that'll take us right through the winter. So yes, again, I spend a little bit more than I should, do you know what I mean, on kind of the garden. But if you just want a kind of a place that's like economical for you to grow the best possible veg you can, get a garden. So there's like one of the kind of main issues that kind of right in the news today at the moment, you know what I mean, always really is, like trying to cut down your kind of carbon footprint, making sure that you're not traveling here, there and everywhere just for like a bag of cabbage or some Brussels sprouts, you know what I mean? That is a benefit. Just getting up to your allotment and just growing your own veg, growing everything, and just taking it back down without the need to kind of, all right, I've got to run here, got to run there, got to run there. That's all, like, it must sink in to you, you know what I mean? Like, I need to kind of do a little bit more. And this, having a garden and doing that, like getting your hands in the earth, realizing that growing your own veg is such a benefit to kind of you, society in general. Do you know, without, I know we're getting a bit like out of it here, but you know, like transportation costs of like bringing in veg from different countries in the middle of winter. Grow your veg through the season and eat it through the seasons. Yes, winter's a little bit tricky, but I've still got, you know, I've got Brussels sprouts, I've got cabbage there, I've got spinach there, I've got, you know, there's still lots of vegetables you can kind of drag through the winter. So trying to cut down, I think, is a brilliant, you know, if you can achieve it, traveling everywhere for your veg, just get it in your garden. Now this is a good one as well. Why? You know, it gets me out of the house, it gets me in the fresh air, it gets my vitamin D levels up. Like you say, normally, I mean, this is because of YouTube, but I'm kind of walking around my garden there now. Not many people in the village are out and about. You know, I've got a garden. Just being able to kind of get a little bit of exercise on a daily basis or as regularly as you can is, do you know what I mean? Doctors are saying this, but fresh air, hands in the earth, hands in the soil, Mother Nature's soil, getting yourself dirty, playing. It's all like benefits, physical, mental. It's across the board. No one would dispute it. That's how good, you know, being in a garden is. So there's your benefit right there. Get a garden, and I did, you know what I mean? And I kind of still do get a little bit anxiety, a little bit, you know, I've had it since I was 17 years old. Coming up here is just, and I've said it many times, you open that gate, you come through, and it's like a little valve on the top of your head. It's just, it's just, oh, you know what I mean? And you've got worries in here. Look at your state of your cabbages, look at the state of this. It's just, it's nice to get stressed about those things instead of like debt, money, the world in general. You're in your own little bubble here, nature's bubble, and it's lovely. Honestly to God, it's gorgeous. I'm not trying to be, you know what I mean, it's just what I've noticed is as well. So I'm not trying to be like, you know, like, oh, very cliche, but you do get a connection here, a connection with your garden, a connection with nature, purely because you're out here all the time tending your land. You just get in, again, it's, you know, you think, oh my God, but you just get in tune with nature. You know, you're going through the seasons in your garden. You cannot help but notice things, you know. Your body just, your whole attitude just kind of flows with it, you know what I mean? So the seasons come and the seasons change, and it's just such a benefit. Again, I've just mentioned this, you know, in your kind of your mental attitude, but you kind of, you know, following the seasons along is being outdoors, man. You don't like see you can stuck in watching Netflix every day, daytime TV, or you can be out. Yes, it might rain. Does it matter? Do you know what I mean? It matters to me because I'm a YouTuber and my camera will get wet. But a little bit of wet, a little bit of dirt is just fantastic. And this is probably a little bit for me, you know what I mean? But you do, if you're kind of watching this video, you know what I mean? Think about maybe setting up your own. You know, everybody I've spoken to, when we mentioned this on another channel, the Pottymouth Garden Club, Tony O'Neill set it up, his video, to just keep a diary of, you know, how you're going with you, and that's a great one, just to kind of keep like a little record of your activities through the year. It's great to look back, especially now in winter when it is dank and dark, and it's a long way to go. You know, that kind of gets dark at 4 o'clock at night, but you've got like a little record. You know, Steve Greenside Up, you know, God rest his soul, there, kept a diary even to this day of, you know, what was happening in his garden, what worked, what didn't. And looking back now with these cold dark months, you know what I mean, and then you can see what's to come is beautiful, man. It's just a great, you know, a great way to live, to be honest. But I'm going to now show you why I get truly excited with gardening. Right, so we're coming into my little greenhouse, which, do you know what I mean? Like I say, love garden, but this thing's only 6 foot by 4 foot. So if you're saying space is no, you haven't got enough space, 6 foot by 4 foot. But this is what I want to show you, that And I remember Steve Greenside Up, he said, when his germination happens, you kind of get it better. Look at this, let's show you. So this is my first chili, ring of fire. Can you see that? And they've been germinated. That, no better feeling than that. To get them to germinate, you know what I mean? You need to kind of, you know, it's a little bit tricky, but to see germination of your plant, you know what I mean? There's some more, there's some onions away there as well. It's just the best feeling. So hopefully I've inspired you a little bit to get your hands in Mother Nature's earth, get a garden, get growing veg. Look after yourselves, take good care.